Before you watch the video, please make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit that bell and subscribe right now. Please do that. So according to new data polls, they're showing that just 9% of Americans make $100,000 or more a year. I want you to think about that. 9% of Americans make $100,000 more a year. So let's do some math real quick. If you got conservatively 320 million people in the United States of America, only about 30 million people make more than $100,000 a year. Now those 30 million, we don't know how many are young people or kids that don't even work, but whatever the number is in terms of the overall population, when it comes to those who live in the United States of America, only 9% of Americans make more than $100,000 a year, or at least $100,000 a year or more. Now, here's why I want to bring this point up, because we really got to start focusing on managing and maintaining and really controlling the narrative of our income. I want you to really lean into what you need to do to manage and to maintain and to control the narrative of your income. Why should I control? Why should I maintain? Why should I manage? Why should I focus all of my attention on this thing called income? Because all financial experts will tell you, as long as they're not shady and scammy, they will tell you that your income is by far one of your greatest wealth building tools. That means if you want to build wealth, if you want to be rich, if you want to be a millionaire, if you want financial freedom, it begins, and in most cases is going to end with your income. Here are some other polling surveys that might startle you a little bit. The average millionaire today, we're talking about 8 or 9 out of 10 millionaires today are self-made millionaires. You know why? Because they manage, they maintain and control the narrative of their income. They develop habits to save their income. They continue to increase their income while decreasing their expenses. And they took extra income and put it in income producing assets and investments to see more income so that they could be financially free, could be millionaires, could be rich, could be wealthy. It all centers around your income. And if you are not in the 9 percentile, which means if you're not 1 out of every 10 people, if you're not making at least $100,000 a year, you really don't got no business doing what people who make at least $100,000 a year do. You shouldn't be driving and living and dressing and acting and behaving like people who make $100,000 or more a year. Truth is, if you're making $100,000 a year, you shouldn't be doing the things somebody who's making $500,000 a year is doing. That's why out of that 9%, only 1% of that 9% makes $400,000 or more. So in order for you to be in the 1%, you got to make at least $400,000 a year. All right. That's 1%. The other 8% of the 9% make at least 100,000. So that means they make between 100,000 and 400,000. The other 91% of Americans, which is probably you, unless you're around more people and you're one of the 10, everybody else is making $100,000 or less. That means everybody else is making at least $8,000 a month or less. That means everybody else is making at least $2,000 a month, a week or less. And if you're making $2,000 a week or less than $2,000 a week, if you're making $8,000 a month or less than $8,000 a month, that means you are a part of that 91% of Americans who need to focus on income. So these are exceptional people who make $100,000 to $400,000 a year, but they only make up 8% of America. These are extremely exceptional people who make up the 1% of Americans, which is $400,000 a year or up. So until you are, unless or if you ever get to that 9 percentile or that 1 percentile. You have to develop the habits of managing, maintaining, and controlling the narrative of your income. So let's get real simple. If you're making $10 an hour, if you're making $20 an hour, if you're on a salary that you're getting $4,000 a month, guess what's going to have to happen? You're going to have to learn to manage that income. You're going to have to learn to minimize those taxes. You're going to have to learn to maximize tax deductions. You're going to have to learn to be creative with your money so that you're not just allowing all your income to come into your hands and leave your life. That means you're going to have to work on learning certain financial strategies. You're going to have to learn about financial literacy. You're going to have to learn the fundamentals of income and expense tracking and banking and even credit and debt. And those things are going to help you appreciate the world that revolves around your income. If you need more information on what you need to do to learn these things in a very concise but complete way, we have our blueprint game plans available for you. All you have to do is click the link. And even if you don't need the blueprint game plan, please give us your feedback. Make sure you subscribe, you follow, support the movement, because we're doing everything we can possibly do to educate and to train our people on the most important aspects of financial literacy, entrepreneurship, business ownership, investments, and family legacy wealth building.